All right, so because the for NVVE, it's of course 5 to 10 million volume plus. For yesterday's candle, daily candle is red, and so it is open price is above middle VWAP, so you would want to execute entry right above middle VWAP. Excuse me, you would want to execute right above open price because middle VWAP is below the open price. So entry would be looking for like 0.201, 0.202. Not really ideal if they go above the open price in this candle. So it's already up 5%. Sub 10%. Since it's now broken the pre-market high, I would need to see a close over. I can remove all these since it already happened. We'll mark my pre-market high though. It failed to close it over, but it immediately pushed it right back to the area. So it's pretty a bullish sign. You see has been sitting in this same area, 21.92 with high volume, which like I've always say is the top. And so downsizing my position to lock in profit to see if it'll continue higher or if it'll just fade off since it broke pre-market high and didn't close over. But yeah, I mean, he had 4 entire minutes on high volume sitting in this same 21.8, 21.9, 22 area, which is about 10% profit from our entry at 2.02. You can't really see it on the 5 minute, but I could just tell from the double top. That's why I switched over to the 1 minute time frame to show you all. 520 doesn't fit replacement. Fits everything else though. Yesterday's candle is red. The volume is 5 to 10 million plus, but 520 EMA is in basically an inverse. I want this below all of the price and moving averages like this here. How the 520 is beneath everything. Looks like we're gonna get new highs again on NVVE. I want to see if this can break 35. All right, so we're up 15, over 15% now. 20% is at 24.2, and then 25% is at 25.2, which looks pretty close. 242 is 15, which is about to go through right now. And then 25.2. 25.2 is 25%. Should have new highs here. Yep. There you go. All right. The volume is pretty high compared to this sideways price action and compared to over here too. So same thing, looking for this sideways movement on high volume There's our 15% or 20%. That was the 20% alert that just got hit. We're looking for this sideways action on high volume. This very high volume is kind of going sideways right now in this 23.7 area. So it may take off another 10%, being up 20% right now. It's right here under the 25% level though. And this gap, this gap down right here may get filled. Yeah, see, we're still going higher. So even though it's high volume, it's not going sideways like this. It's high volume and it's continued to uptrend. And so mentally, I have a visual line where I'm just looking. And right now, the visual line I see is still this 24 area where we're up 20% because the volume is very high. But looking at the 5-minute chart, I explained this briefly in one video. It's doing it right now. So each new 5-minute candle is making a new high, and the low of this candle is not going beneath the low of this one. And so, in 2 minutes, we'll have another 5-minute candle. If it makes a new high, or if the low of the next candle doesn't go beneath this one, it likely will just continue to go higher as well. And I believe I explained this briefly in the first video when I went over system one. But kind of got a line in the sand here, but we got new highs. So, but I do see a line right here. The volume is not as high, so that's a bit of a good sign here. We just got new highs again. And there's the 25% alert. Just got hit. And so next stop is potentially, I don't know if it'll get all the way up here, but 3.303 is 30%. But again, I'm still seeing a line right here. But we're continuing to push up, and the volume is going down and we're going up. So that tells you that not many people are taking profit. And then we'll get a new 5-minute candle in 30 seconds. And so pulling all the way back to the low of this candle would be a bit too steep to let that pull back. So um, just watching this area right here, this 24.7, 24.6 to 24.8 area, which is just under 25%. Or 25.2 is, yeah. So right now, this is up 20%. And you can see now we're sitting in this same area. And so let me zoom out a little bit. So actually the volume is high, relevant to this sideways price action right here, this low volume sideways price action. So I'm definitely watching this area because this is potentially a top unless it continues to just make new highs. But if you put a line right here, you can definitely see that it's holding in this area and the volume is higher than here, but new highs again, so we're good. And that's what I'm just watching. I'm just watching the volume and watching the kind of like the line in the sand, as I call it. And you can see the 5-minute chart. It's made a new high again. And so going beneath this low would be a potential indication that it's going to start to sell off. On my Excel sheet, I don't have on my Excel sheet, I don't have anything in between 25% and 50%. So 25% was at 25.2, it's at 28. And so it looks like every 4 cents is 20%. Or actually every 3 cents is 20%. So from 25.2 to 28.2 would be another 20. So it'd be in the 40 area. And so right now I'm seeing high volume and my line in the sand is kind of right in this area right here. So you can see we're still sitting in this area for about 4 minutes now. Did get new highs, which is a good sign, but we're still sitting in this area. And even another line in the sand is right here. But we just got new highs again. And it just touched this, so let's see if it rejects here in this area. Yeah, we're still sitting in this area, going on about 4 minutes now. The last time it sat in this area for 4 minutes and then pulled back, so going on 4 minutes here. So 30 seconds left on this candle. Probably take off another 5% of my position. Definitely taking off 5% of my position. All right. And then now I'll just hold the rest until the 5 minute makes a new low on the 5 minute because I've locked in a great amount of profit. Majority of sales um, in the 28 area just got new highs again. So I'll switch this to the 5 minute and not really looking for lines in the sand anymore on the 1 minute because I've locked in majority of my position, kind of like just letting the rest run to see how high it can go. And right now it would need to go beneath the low of this candle, which is 24.5, which is a pretty significant pullback, but because most of my position is already out, I'm okay with that. And then once this candle closes, I'll mark the low of it and remove the line I just placed. See that line in the sand I drew? 28 area. Look at this high volume. Definitely topped 7 minutes essentially in this area. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that line at 24.5. If it makes a triple top here on this 5 minute and doesn't break to new highs, I'm just gonna take off the rest and just be done for the day. And so that'll be FRGT from this morning. I'm using system 2 for 10%. And then majority of my sales were in the 28 area on this here. So, and that was over 25%. That that 0.303 mark is would be 50% if it made it up there. But yeah, there's less than 3 minutes left on this candle. Um, well, actually, if it makes a triple top up here and then breaks beneath the low of this current candle at 26, then I'll get out. Because it could make a triple top and then just break it, but it looks like they're just gonna break it right now. Yep, they just did. All right, and so our next low that we'll mark will be at 26. There's definitely a line in the sand on this, on the 5 minute chart. If this 28.4 area, it's been sitting here for 20 minutes. But let's see. Let's move this to the low of the previous candle, which is 26. Wonder what CRK did. CRKN did. Flopped. Literally gave you 26.8 up to 34.79 and then dumped. What percent is that? 26.8, 34.79. That's over 25%. So I mean that's fair. Gave you over 25% in 10 minutes on this news play. Still didn't break the low of that candle, so I won't be moving my line on this next candle. I'm gonna just put this at 26. It's creating a strong base at 26. If it breaks the high of this candle, it'll likely break the high of this candle. The high is 27.8. Oh, it already broke it. So yeah, it'll likely break the high of that 29.5. Like I said, supported 26 for just like when it makes the top and its resistance, same thing if it makes a bottom. It used 26 as support for 20 minutes straight and made new highs. The buyers are going to be looking for it to close over this 29.5 high though. If it gets to my 50% profit layer, I'm just going to sell the rest and just get off for the day. There it is. That's it for the day. Well, actually, before I cut it, volume 5 to 10 million. Well, first made it to the scanner. NVVE volume 5 to 10 million plus. Next, yesterday's candle, red or white, check. Um, Middle view, I was below open price, so went for right above open price, which was 0.202. Um, and trended it up and exited majority of my position in this area. Um, well, majority of sales were in this area. Majority of my position was exited when I was let me go to the 1 minute chart. It was when it created that stall. Yeah, this little stall right here. In the 22, which was like 10% profit. And then the rest was sold. I sold a little bit in here, and then majority of the last of my position was sold up here. And then the final piece was sold at 0.303, hitting my 50% profit alert. Because I mean, being up 50% in from 9:30 to 10:15, not even an hour, definitely gonna complete the trade there and be done.